Welcome, 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 welcome.
Welcome to the podcast, the God Pod. Great to be back. Thank you, Adam Snipes, for tuning in.
Yo. Big Sav Dog up in the house. What up, everybody?
Welcome back, boys. How's your week been? It hasn't been that long since we last talked. It was Sunday, so it's good to be back.
My week's been solid. Trading plan that I had, been calling out for what feels like 2 months now, finally came to fruition. So I'm stoked to see that swing trade come in and, flipped long. So we'll see what happens. But it was a great week.
That's news.
I know, right? Bear King goes long.
That actually is big news. Big news. I would definitely agree with that one.
Yeah.
Fruition over here. Big words, not somebody, not something I can handle. Fruition, but I'll tell you, it's been a nice little pop and a nice little retest of what we thought was going to be maybe more death, at least for now. And my week's been good, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I saw you guys 2 days ago, if I recall. We were live 2 days ago. I slept for 4 days actually after the last podcast. So for me, it's only been 2 days since the last podcast. I'm glad to be back. That's what happens when you just have heavy partying days and nights and bingers, and it's good to be here, fam. I'm glad to be.
Well, it is summertime. It is the time
Alive
for
again.
bingers. So
This is true.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
For me, it's been a good week. Back into NFTs have breathed a sign of life. This last week, made some good trades, made some ETH, made some bad trades, lost some ETH. So, but it's good just to be back and seeing volume again. Boring Punks was a fucking cook. Boring Apes, I minted a bunch of those and made profit on them, and then re-entered, and that lost me money. But it was good to get the mint off. I used my Nexus tools and I max minted it. So I minted 21 of those, and then they went to 0.045, 0.05, I think.
Nice.
And they were 0.004 mint.
Oh, beauty.
So that was a fucking nice mint to get those. Then I just stayed the trade too long. That's a lesson learned there. Is maybe just take the profit off the initial mint and don't get greedy and
don't buy back in. Yeah, especially the rares.
Don't buy back in.
Yeah. I think that happens a lot. People
that's bit me more times than anything, right? Because you see it go up past your sell point, you're like, well, fuck, it's gonna keep going, so I gotta rebuy in, and then this volume just fell off a cliff. Which that's what happens too. So, what can you do?
Much.
Started a new collab gig this week, so that's always nice to see some Web3 work come my way. It's for a new BRC project, Ordinals. That should be pretty cool. I've linked it on my
What's
Twitter.
it called?
Ordinals. Yeah, they're starting a.
That's not that one that Bitboy's shilling, is it? Ordinals?
No.
Isn't he shilling?
Oh, those
Ordinals? What am I mixing the two up? Or
well, this is it is on Bitcoin, so it is Ordinals, but it's called Ordinals. They're doing a new streaming platform where creators earn royalties in Bitcoin.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. They got like Waka Flocka on it already, and like DDG, the rapper's already talking about it.
Waka Flocka, man. What?
Yeah,
sold right there.
Yeah, I'm sold on that alone.
That's all you need to say. Just
he's not even a crypto guy. That's crazy.
Yeah, well,
that's why it's big news.
Yeah, I know. So he hasn't been
bull
doing
sign right there. That's a buy sign. So
I'm excited for that project for sure. How about you? How about you, Savage? What's new besides sleeping for 4 days? Did you get any trades in?
No, but I'll tell you what, like, fuck, man, it does suck. Obviously I'm messing around with the NFT Solana market, and when you're holding the big bag, obviously, like last time we spoke, I think about my bag, it was around 12K, and Solana dumps, 30% in like a week. It's just tough, even though the project is still doing well, to eat a little bit of that. But I got out of most of that project. I'm actually waiting for season 2. They're going to have a second season, expand the map. That's going to be exciting. Yeah, nothing crazy. Some crazy weather over here. Just glad it's not so smoky. I think the Canadians for cleaning their shit up there in North America. But yeah, it's what else? What else we're talking about over here? Because
It's been a crazy week,
I'm bored.
man. It's been a crazy week. I mean, what do we want to start with, boys?
Let's start with the SEC backlash with Coinbase and Binance.
Oh wow!
Okay,
Let's
Getting
start
right
heavy.
into it.
Let's start
let's
heavy.
heavy
And then
hitters.
we'll,
Right
and
into
then
it.
we'll and then we'll
I
talk
voted
current
not to
events.
talk about this for the record,
Oh,
fam. I
okay.
voted not to
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about this.
yeah.
Was that a silent vote? Because
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Let me present the article here, and we can talk about it.
Oh damn!
That looks good on the Twitch. I can read that. So,
Nice.
all right, Q. This is your baby. You lead the charge on this one.
All right. So I want to preface. I am not a lawyer. I'm not trying to be one. Okay. I'm just a degen reading off this and doing my speculations. I've dealt with lawyers most of my life, litigation and discovery stuff for a lot of business acquisitions and figuring out who owes who and all that jazz. So, I have a little bit of experience with this, but I am not a lawyer, nor am I trying to be one. So, with that being said, this could be a whole lot of nothing. It's unsure until they actually go through, the discovery phase, the actual litigation phase, where they start to see if anything's been done fraudulently. But right now it's basically just to dumb it down into like 2 sentences from what I see. It's not really that accusatory. It's just like, hey, we've heard that you've done this wrong. We want to make sure you're not doing this wrong. So they want the books, they want the data, they want to walk through kind of, just to make sure that Binance's books are in orders. They actually own all the assets they say they own. There's not any more fraudulent loans or, shoddy representation of their clients' funds. But to walk through, basically, this is done on June 5th. So, it was done a little over a week ago or 2 weeks ago. It's basically, and we read, if you want to scroll down a little bit, Drew. But it's basically saying that Security and Exchange Commissions today has charged Binance Holdings. Basically, it shows all their affiliates as well, and which together with Binance operates the crypto asset trading platform. So they've basically charged them right now as a, here we're stopping it. We're causing some sort of, what I think the term was like an injunction. Where they, want to make sure that they're not trying to like wash any assets or make sure their books are clean after the fact. They've put kind of their foot down, and are now asking for documentation just to make sure that they're not actually violating any of these security laws listed. So the complaint, again, if you want to scroll down just a little bit more, is essentially going to be, a charge with the violations of critical registration related provisions. They're quoting that they're running a unregistered national securities exchange. There was a thread about this on Twitter. I'm not sure 100% how accurate it was, but there was a lot of different assets that were, stakeable assets on Binance. You got paid a reward for staking. A lot of those were used in the actual drawdown. This is just kind of the SEC article of what they did, but then the actual complaint shows, I believe, some of these what they call so-called securities. So basically just talking about unregistered national securities exchange / a broker dealer. And they're talking about, their sale and offer of their own crypto assets. So, BNB, which is what they say is quote unquote a so-called stable coin, Binance USD, and then that's the BUSD coin that they launched, a stable coin, and then some crypto lending products. So that's the products I was talking about, some chains that they offered staking rewards on. And staking as a service as well. It's kind of tied in with the crypto lending procedure. And they're basically saying throughout 13 charges We allege that CZ and Binance entities engaged in an extensive web of deception, conflicts of interest, lack of disclosure, and calculated evasion of the law. That's kind of their main focus right now, is they're trying to disprove that or prove that. So they've asked for a bunch of documentation. They've asked for, I'm pretty sure they asked for CZ to come forward and talk about this, in like an interview almost. So it is accusatory to a degree, but they have to in order to get, these kind of pauses / injunctions of the books to make sure that, they're not trying to wash all this bad debt or any of the, quote unquote fraud that they're saying might be on the books. They want to be able to kind of put this stop in their movements in order to allow them to send over what they need to be sent and then go from there essentially. So if nothing comes out of this, their books are all clean. They can prove otherwise that, none of this is true. Honestly, it's a pretty much a nothing burger.
Full run up.
Yeah,
basically?
almost.
Up
yeah,
only.
you're not wrong. It will be seen as bullish across markets, especially crypto markets, and Binance would be in the clear. We've seen this before in the past with traditional finance. A lot of companies, a lot of funds, a lot of broker dealers. Even if they do get charged, it's typically, let's say they were in fraud for $200 million worth of fraud. The charge might be 25 million or 50 million, and they walk away with, quote unquote slap on the wrist. So be interesting to see what happens with the SEC if they actually end up charging CZ and Binance entities. But at the end of the day, we don't know anything yet, just what they've been served and what kind of information they're looking for on Binance's end. But none of the, trial has really gone down. None of the discovery phases, none of the documents have really been sent over as of yet, I don't think. But they are halting or at least struggling with the withdrawals of client assets on the US dollar side of things. So crypto withdrawals are totally fine on Binance as of right now. But I actually have a close friend of mine who has had a withdrawal locked since June 5th for a wire transfer, or not a wire transfer, like a bank transfer essentially to his bank. It wasn't a wire, it was something else, I forget, but it was $5,000, nothing too much, nothing that would trip any radars, so to speak. But he's been on hold, cannot withdraw it, and Binance has been talking extensively with him about why it's paused and when he'll see his money and et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a really good look, but I would have to assume that this is something to do with the SEC and and it happened in June 5th, right when he tried to withdraw. And it's been a little less than 2 weeks since then. And, nothing's come out. Books are probably paused on the banking side of things. I'm not going to really try to speculate too hard on why, but I would make a lot of sense for it to be related to kind of this injunction or this, suit or this like lawsuit, I guess, against Binance right now.
So I'm pretty like out of the loop on this. Like I hear this stuff and I kind of just ignore it. Maybe that's just me, my head in the sand, or maybe it's just because I don't understand it well. But from what I've heard is they named quite a few coins that Binance was trading as securities. Like they named BUSD, BNB, they named a bunch of other ones as far as I know. But notably they didn't mention Bitcoin at all. They're pretty much backed entirely off Bitcoin from what I've heard.
Yes.
They're a security.
So again, this is just my pure speculation as a crypto degen that's been here a long, long time. Again, for those of you who missed the Genesis episode, my first mining wallet ever created was in December of 2011. So I've been here a long ass time. If I had to guess, it would literally just because it's considered the online gold currency, right? It's more of a commodity than anything else. It's proof of work. It's not proof of stake. And the reason why I say that as a main point is a lot of these tokens that are proof of stake are technically, this is a gray area, of course, but they're on almost promising a return just by holding the token. Because as it gets validated, as it gets put down block by block, there's an X amount of token or supply getting burnt in return. And that is the whole principal process of how proof of stake works. And in return, that could be seen as a security, because the actual, verbiage for security is and again, I'm spitballing here, it's probably a little bit off, but it's essentially is if you are promoting that you will make money by holding a certain asset, that deems it, that's one of the main redeeming factors of it being a security is if it's promised returns or a rate of return or expected return. Whereas if it's a commodity, there's no, it's just the supply and the demand side economics of it all. There's no expected return. There's no, guarantee or anything of that matter. So for chain to be a proof of stake is much different than proof of work coins. And BTC is
That
the
whole
biggest proof of work. So
that whole promise value that just
D-Lob,
takes me
it's a
back to
commodity.
that whole takes me back to 2021 NFT vibes where the buzzword for new products coming out was passive
yeah,
income, and how many projects got shut down because of
mm-hmm.
that. I mean, that was one of my first NFT projects actually was Slotty, which was promising passive income from a gambling website.
Yeah.
And they got shut the fuck
Yeah.
down. I got out before that because a few other people were like, hey, maybe you don't want to be in this project. And I made a killing off of it, but I know people that stayed in it, and I don't think they've tweeted now since last October.
Yeah.
They've just disappeared.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they got shut down because they were promising returns through holding an NFT.
Yeah, and again, it's a kind of a gray area in regards to who's actually been charged as a legitimate security and therefore shut down or heavily pursued against, whether it's fines, whether it's actual jail time. But unregistered securities are have been a huge problem with the SEC. They don't take that shit lightly. So if they do happen to say that some of these assets are securities in this kind of lawsuit that we've been talking about for the last little while, it's going to get extremely interesting for the rest of proof of stake coins. And part of the reason why I've been so bearish on ETH and talked about $20 ETH is because it has now changed to proof of stake. So if that is the case and that happens, we're going to see, a huge issue with what is technically deemed an unregistered security. So be interesting. Could be a nothing burger. It could be the biggest news that we've seen yet in the crypto sphere, because it's a total gray area right now. And if they get out of this and none of these assets are deemed securities, it's right back to what I would consider a pretty strong bull market vibe. So we'll have to see.
And this will take years.
Yes.
It is back to a very strong bull market. If you haven't seen, we're up 3% today, 2.96% going into the close. We are back to a bull market, fam. He is making a correction as we speak. Sorry.
I am the Bear King on Twitter. Okay. So I'm not the Bull King yet, but I did go long. So
I can't wait for you in 3 years when you change your Twitter name to Bull King.
Bro,
it's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. There's gonna be a time.
No chance.
No, it's gonna be a time, bro.
Unfollow as soon as
bro.
Hey, I remember when I first met Q. Actually, kind of before we met, when I first heard of him in the space, he was all about NFTs, man. I was watching him trade like crazy. I was his exit liquidity a couple times.
I made a lot of money in NFTs, man.
And I was your exit liquidity on Cosmo Dinos, and then I still made money on those.
Yeah, I know. So that's the thing is I used to get a lot of hate because I would buy a ton. I would buy like 50 of these, and I don't want 50 JPEGs. I maybe only want 2. So I would sell 48 for a profit, and then people would get really mad. So yeah, that was a...
People get mad that you ladder stuff.
Yeah, I'm not dumping on floor. Like that's the game.
It's the name of the game.
Like I'd buy it like 0.1 and I would start selling at like 0.16, and then I would do like 0.17, 0.18, 0.19, and like just sell out slowly. But no, yeah, NFT game was super strong till March 2022, and I sold everything, man. All my NFTs of value. The only one that I hold right now, technically it's yours because I've had it on loan from you, Drew, but it's OCB. So the on-chain Buccaneers. So love those guys, love Jams, love Hydres. We're gonna try and we're not gonna try. We're gonna get them onto this podcast soon as guests. 100%. But that's the only. I had one for the longest time too. I literally just sold it like 2 months ago on accident. I had it listed for twice the floor price, and then the floor price doubled in 3 months, and mine went. So I got I've got another one loaned off Drew, so I'm good for now. But it's the only NFT that I would consider holding throughout this bear market. Those guys make a lot of money and are a great, alpha service.
Correction. The heist too on
Okay,
Solana.
Well,
yeah.
we don't
We
talk
don't
about
talk about
Solana NFT,
Solana,
though,
but
right?
But we will talk about Solana
when
NFTs. This
Solana
is
is
not
like
gonna be some fucking
1,800 bucks a
some dude.
Solana, yeah, like
No, give
one
me,
soul is
dude.
1,800
Please,
bucks, like
you realize how
maybe.
many transactions you can do, dude? It's so the capability Solana versus Ethereum. Let's just put it right here. Okay, first off, when you're doing Solana, you can have like just so many transactions with the actual currency because it doesn't cost a thing. As soon
Yeah.
as you start adding multiple transactions in Ethereum, the product has gone to zero. So don't fucking tell me that we ain't gonna like we're just going Ethereum, waiting to Solana gets 1,800. Like, dude, there's some better currencies out there. Matic's obviously got some entities. Like, we're gonna talk about some others. We're gonna diversify. We're not gonna be some standard hose up on this bitch. I'll tell
Well, I
you
mean,
that.
I've
But
played NFT games on Polygon and they work great.
Yeah.
Poly, like Matic's awesome.
haven't tried them. Yeah, I can't
I,
speak
I,
to them.
I played one. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. They kind of got too popular. They ended up fizzling out, and that's kind of why like I'm super careful now with staking games. Like, get your initial investment out as soon as possible, because I didn't. I got most of it out, and then they went to zero. But I mean, I had a lot of fun playing it. So
Yeah.
what can I say? I mean, I guess there's an entertainment value in there as
Yeah.
well, for eating up time. So we just see in chat someone brought up BlackRock, which actually is great for us on our next segment. So let's talk BlackRock. I know we were just briefly discussing that before the show went live, so
Yeah.
that's on you guys. Give me the deets.
Again, I'm just a crypto degen who likes to read up a lot on this stuff. From what I can see, it's relatively bullish. But the key difference is there's ETF, which would be a spot-driven ETF, and then there's a trust, which can be sold kind of as the same thing. It's kind of how SPY on the so the SPX is the actual index. The SPY is like considered like the trust version of it. I think it's redeemable, where there's a key difference between the non-redeemables and the redeemables when you come into ETFs and trusts. But there's key difference in there. And Savage has his own words on it, so maybe he wants to talk about that before I dive deep. But it could be bullish, and it could be pretty bad for the industry as well. Savage has a comment on why it would be bad, so
Yeah,
concedes.
I got a comment. I mean, like, I'd love to bring up a chart, but like, just for this actual point, the only reason I bring a chart for this actual point is, I could show you when we hit 64K, right? It was April 26th or something like that. We hit 64K, whatever, Bitcoin, right around that time of 2021. Last bull run, right? With our first time hitting it, 64K. At that point, I believe it was the day or the day after Coinbase IPO went live on the stock market. Okay. Then we dumped, obviously, everyone knows, 29K over the summer of summer 21. Right. Everything's fine. Then we start pumping up to 69K. Everything looks great. Obviously, now we know it's all FTX pump, but doesn't matter. We're pumping. Here comes November. Oh, Bitcoin ETF drops. It was the top.
Yeah.
The day of the top. So I'm excited about this because I'll tell you what, as soon as that shit drops next bull run, we're going to know it's the top. We're short and fat. We're going hardcore, balls deep, out of spot. You know what we're talking about here, man. It's an
low.
obvious short signal when it happens. We could buy now.
Yeah, buy now. When it happens, we sell we sell the spot BTC to BlackRock. They can be the exit liquidity.
Buy the rumors, sell the news.
Yeah.
That's what you do. So
you're not wrong.
The same thing we were doing with the meme coins. As soon as they're just showing up on the central
instantly short. Instantly short. Yeah, as soon as Binance listed,
I was selling it to the exchanges. Oh, my meme coins that I got from Sushi Swap. The exchange is like, oh, hey, yeah, you guys just listed Pepe. Here, have mine. It was fucking amazing. Oh man, good times. Good times.
That was great, man. No, it's
Sorry,
all
fam,
good, bro. Like
I got control.
you're
I got
the
control there, fam.
you're the color commentary here, so. But
All right.
yeah, let's move on. We got a couple more things to talk about. Drew.
You want to go into current events on the current crypto events, or should we go into macro market first?
I'll leave that up to Savage. Savage, what do you want?
I mean, we could just talk about, like, I was just gonna say, might as well just smooth it out there. But we're obviously in Q2, technically, of kind of what I would call the chop year, right? We got the bear market year usually, and then we got a year of the chop year, and then we start to see the last dip year going into building up into a bull run, right? And so what I mean is, in 2018 was the bear year, right? 2019 was the chop year. 2020 year was the last dip going into the bull run, right? So now here we are. Obviously, we're in the summer. Things look great here, but I'm telling you right now, like, whether we go up here from up to 36K or 40K or 45K, we're going to go down to those lows and revisit. Maybe not the lows, maybe a little bit lower. I can't tell you the exact numbers, but I tell you what, be patient in this market, especially when you're deploying your spot. The halving's a year away, just 11 months away, fam. That's it's crazy. It's there. And I'll tell you what, we were before that halving. We saw the lows before the halving. It was that COVID dip in March. It was crazy, right? Like 3K, 3,800. And so fam, just be patient, and whether you're bull here now or later, whatever, buy the dips, as far as a macro point, right? So that's all I got to really say about the markets right now. I think we're crypto. I think one more thing I'll say: crypto has been decorrelated from the standard markets for the last month, 6 weeks or so, which has been very apparent. And I think, actually, which is going to be kind of a crazy thing, is when equities start to drop here soon, because they are going to have a little bit of a correction. This has just been madness, AI bubble pop consumption all the way up to resistance. But when it starts to pull back a little bit, I think Bitcoin's going to continue to pump a little bit, and it's going to kind of continue its decorrelation. But how far, again, how we go, we're not going to go to see new highs. It's not going to be this year. There's no chance of that. I will literally come here and eat my own shit on stream.
Okay, all right. That's
we got saw new
that's.
highs.
Somebody clip that. Come on, somebody get
I'm
that.
just saying.
Oh my god.
Well, it's got to be said. It's got if we saw new highs this year on Bitcoin, obviously. And so that's how guaranteed we all know it's not going to happen. I mean, like, if anybody's in this chat that knows us, we all know it's not going to happen. So I hope you all know it's not going to happen. For God's sakes, it's not going to happen.
I thought Bitcoin had 13 days to be at $1 million, bro. Wasn't that the bet?
What?
Yeah, somebody had a bet.
Yeah.
What?
About 90 days ago, someone said in 90 days Bitcoin will be at $1 million. Yeah. And they bet.
Oh god.
Do they mean market cap?
No. Oh my god, bro. Could you imagine okay, I don't even want it. Anyways, yeah, they said basically it was going to $1 million, and they bet in escrow $1 million that it was gonna go. So I mean, he did call that at the general lows. So there's that. But
I mean, I'm a man of my word. I mean, if I gotta break a plate of my own, you know what?
Way. I don't think Twitch will allow that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They may stop the stream just me talking about it. But listen, yeah, just be patient. We're about a year away, fam, I think, from like major deployment and hustle and get that cash flow and continue to generate cash, and we're going to be invested hard. And I think we're going to see a huge equity dip, 100%. That's going to be a great opportunity to buy in. I'll be buying in the next dip. I won't be looking for doomsday. Yeah. But yeah, we got some great opportunities coming up, fam. Opportunity.
All right, well, let's talk some. There's a lot of current events going on today. This week has been a crazy week on crypto Twitter. It has turned into a reality TV show. and there is a lot of subplots going on right now. So let's bust into a
Yeah,
couple
let's
of
do
them.
it.
The first, I guess, one of the biggest ones today, Ben.eth, love him or hate him. Some think he's one of the biggest innovators in the space. Others think he's one of the biggest scammers. So he got publicly doxxed today by Polyox. So regardless of what you think of Ben, like I said, I'm not sure myself on his whole motivations in the space.
Yeah, neither.
But publicly doxing someone, I'm not for that. I never think that's okay. Especially they put pictures of his kids
Yeah,
up.
that's fucked up.
That's pretty fun.
That's super fucked up. So.
And I know, like, there's some criticism I've seen on Twitter today where people are like, well, he posted those photos on his Instagram account. But posting something on a private account that you have with just your close friends versus your Twitter persona, especially if it's not the same name and it's different, that is not the same thing. As just because I post pictures like on my Facebook does not mean I want those photos shared on Twitter. That is a totally different space. I don't keep them linked. So
yeah, no, that's for sure. Yeah,
I think that's pretty messed up.
Yeah,
we're not going to link to the post or anything just because I don't want to like add to it. I'm sure you guys will find it if you want to. I know now they're trying to set up a boxing match or UFC fight between Polyox and Ben.eth. So like I said, it has become a reality TV show.
My God,
crypto Twitter, and we have other crypto influencers like the NFT Whisperer saying he'll fight them both with one hand behind his back in his backyard in Colombia, which I thought was hilarious. So I hope that gets set up.
Yeah.
I love to live stream because that'd be awesome. But yeah, it's been quite the day. There's definitely been some pretty funny things with that.
That's fucked up, man.
What else happened to it?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like he raised a shitload of money for a bunch of random tokens.
Like 20
mil for like a bunch of random tokens. No one really knew what the hell they were sending money into for. It was just like, let's just send money to this guy. I'm pretty sure a majority of his projects, as you know, most of these do, didn't do so well. Like they obviously had a nice little spike. Whoever was able to take their money out was able to take their money out, but the rest of, you know, a large portion, it's a net zero game, right? So there's always going to be winners and losers to this stuff, no matter what you trade. It's PvP the whole way through, right? Like when I take a long, someone's shorting on the other end, and vice versa. So it's one of those things where, you know, like them or hate them, doesn't really much matter. Publicly doxing them and posting photos of their kids is a line that just should never be crossed. So that's fucked up.
Yeah, I'm not too fond of the whole thing. I think the only project that he has that's like technically up still is his like FF6000, the color NFT he dropped is still over mint price. So I mean, like he still did that, and that's still up, and that's kind of his badging system. He's badging his fans on Twitter. It's funny the different click badges you see on Twitter now, like the question mark for Shill and Villains group and Machi's group, and now you got Ben.eth with his orange square.
Oh, it's this is wild, man. Like I coming from the 2017 and 2018 bear market where literally most people's posts were just like loss porn. It was like, hey, I blew up a $400,000 account and I've got 40 grand left in it. Here's a screenshot for your guys' pleasure, like that kind of stuff. You know, people just, it's wild. It's a wild bear market right now. Like
let's bring back loss porn,
dude.
That's
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We need more loss porn. Everyone in this space right now is 100% hit rate kings. No one loses. So no one loses, and you know that just, it's no more loss porn. So whenever I take a bad loss, the first thing I do is post it straight to Twitter because like that shit's fucking hilarious to me. And it's
so funny seeing other people.
Oh, bro, 100%. And like I run a small degen account for this reason. Like I usually start it with, you know, a couple $100 and try and run it up or blow it up, you know, the fastest I can. So like right now I'm like at 10 grand, but it's going to be hilarious one of these days where, you know, it's just going to fucking go to zero and I'm going to be sitting there laughing my ass off because, you know, I took the wrong 100x short or, you know, vice versa. So
nothing worse than waking up to the phone and seeing on your phone liquidation
Yeah,
risk,
don't
liquidation
even,
risk,
bro. Don't
liquidation risk,
even.
position
Yeah,
liquidated.
don't even.
As you scroll down, it
Yeah, it
just gets
gets
worse
worse
and
and
worse. And
worse.
you're like, oh
You
fuck.
need to add margin. Oh fuck. Well, I'm on cross leverage, so my whole account is margin right now. Fuck.
I've woken up to that a few times, and it's now that you're just like you wake up, and you're like, oh fuck. When you read the first liquidation
Yeah.
risk
No, yeah.
alert.
I don't think I've ever gotten that email or that text message without getting liquidated. So
I've gotten it once where it hit it and I woke up and I was back in
no
profit, but
way.
I was within 2 cents of being liquidated, and I woke up to like 15 liquidation risk emails and then back up in profit, and I was just like, sell, close position, close position.
Man, crazy.
Yeah, the more I talk about this, the more I miss leverage trading. I might have to throw some money back into account and get back in
Me and
because like
Savage, that's
I
all we
feel like
do.
I'm off tilt
Yeah.
now. So I was tilted for a bit when I got liquidated 3 times in a row. I was like, I need a break. I was like, I need a break.
Oh,
Liquidated
I
3
was
times in a row.
Blew up like a $10,000 account, put another
Oh,
2,500 in,
Jesus,
blew
yeah.
that up. Then I was like, I'll put another grand in, blew that up. And I was like, I'm out
Oh,
for a bit.
man. Yeah.
yeah, we've
That was back when I still had like a Web 2 job though. So like now I gotta be a little more
yeah.
careful.
But
But yeah, what else happened today? Machi Big Brother is suing Zach XBT for defamation, which is pretty big. That's pretty big news. And like I know Zach XBT's got a lot of haters, surprisingly.
yeah, it's weird.
I'm not I'm not one. I think he does overall he's a huge benefit to the space for what he's done. Tracking down scammers and rug artists and everything else.
Yep. Yep.
So I think overall, I think he's a great benefit to the space. It's surprising to see him get sued, but I mean, like, I'm not surprised Machi did it either. So
Honestly, I am. And I'll talk about why. This process, obviously the most famous defamation case that, in recent history is the Johnny Depp one. With Amber Heard, and like obviously that was televised and was a big process and et cetera, et cetera. But they're quite hard to win in Machi's shoes. It's very, very hard to kind of actually get like a charge on someone for defamation. You need without beyond reasonable doubt that they were defaming his name, and if there's any even remote, obviously the civil suit isn't on his charges about embezzling money out of his ecosystems that he built. That's not what the charges are going to be on. But if there's any even remote, ounce of information leading to the fact that he might have actually been embezzling, the suit is basically going to be thrown out. Because at that point, it's not defamation, it's actually reasonable information / data. And it has, backing and proof. So, I'd be surprised to see him come out of this, Machi, that being on top. I'm actually really weirded out that he did this, because unless he is 100%, 110% innocent, which, I have my speculations, but unless he's literally super clean and has transaction and proof of all this stuff coming out cleanly and not being embezzled, he doesn't really have a case unless that's true. So, if he's actually okay and everything's all clean slate, he has a case, but then also comes into the procedure of actually proving that he was, being like libelous or defamation. They're kind of two different things, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. It's also not going to happen overnight. This stuff happens over, a year, 2 years, sometimes longer. So it'll be interesting to see kind of, I'm weirded out a little bit because this is probably going to stop Zach XBD from doing any other threads from here on forward, at least until this is like resolved. And any sort of lawyer, respectable lawyer will be telling him not to continue what he does until they finish a conclusion, just to help him on his defense. So it's going to be extremely interesting to kind of see what goes from here. Because, again, like from different stuff, mainly business acquisitions and stuff like that. But a lot of the legal and paperwork and stuff requires you to be quite like uptight and not be sharing a lot of this information, especially not publicly, even if it's not quote unquote related to the case. You still don't want to be doing this outside of the case while it's ongoing. So we'll have to see kind of what comes of this, but very interesting that he actually did this, because he must truly think that he's 100% innocent if he's pulling these cards out. So,
well, I read some threads today to try and get some like none of this is fact. I don't want anyone to think that I'm like a reporter on this. I'm literally just gathering info from different parts of Twitter and regurgitating it here for your easy listening. So I've read a couple threads today where they go off and say how defamations are actually quite hard to defend against. Especially with, I think the difference here is it wasn't just a Twitter thread, it was an actual article that Zach XPD wrote and published. Yeah. I'm sorry about my dog. She's whining here. The other thing is, you brought up Johnny Depp's case, which I've heard a rumor on Twitter. I can't verify this or not, that Zach XPD actually hired the same law firm that defended Johnny Depp. That could be totally fake or it could be legit. I do know that he has started a public wallet to fund his legal defense, and last I checked it was over 250 grand already. So within a day he's already raised $250,000 for his defense, mostly in stable coins actually, which he asked for. A few people sent him meme coins, which obviously he didn't ask for, but that's hilarious,
bro. It's crypto Twitter. Like, some of these people, literally their entire bags. I've learned this the hard way. There's people whose entire bags.
Take what you're gonna get, Zach.
Well, no, he's going to. He's gonna swap them over and sell it.
Some monk, some tape.
But
maybe I should send him all the ones that I have that I can't sell. Right now. I can get rid of my wallet showing top G.
Oh my god.
And everything else, and just send that to Zach.
Just flood his wallet with all those fucking tokens that you don't want to see. Yeah, you don't want to see anymore. Here's 14 cents. I paid $700 for it.
It cost me $5 to send it to you.
It'll cost him $30 to swap.
Yo, I'll say this about the Zach XPT. I completely agree with you. It totally sucks in the fact that it slows down Zach, and it probably has like 3, 4, 5 articles lined up. That guy works his ass off on that shit. So it totally sucks and slowing him down and doing what he does, and he doesn't really make much money off of it besides what people donate to him. People don't realize that either. So when they all like hating on him and shit for being a snitch, really, and not a snitch, he's trying to save your ass from getting your fucking your hiney taken. So and where I come from, duct tape's a good thing. So that Zach's some good duct tape, and we should respect him and help him out through this defamation case. And all it takes is one thing to be inaccurate that Zach said, and it's like they have a case there for defamation. It is really hard to defend that shit. So we'll see what happens from it. We'll see if anything happens from it. It could be a total fucking bluff. You've seen that many times in this space before. Transitioning into the next topic, Bitboy. Speaking of bluffs, remember him? Bitboy threatened to sue somebody. That one guy that did a YouTube video on him. Remember that? It blew up.
CoffeeZilla or someone like that.
And yeah. No, it wasn't CoffeeZilla. It was
who it was.
This super chill guy. It was probably like 4 or 5 months ago. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe it was last year, late last year. But either way, if you guys remember, Bitboy threatened to sue this guy. Like, he actually had a lawsuit, sent it to the guy's house and shit. Like, it was this whole thing. And then everyone gave Bitboy so much shit that he's like, all right, did a whole episode like, all right, things were untrue and what he said, and I'm not gonna sue him, blah blah blah. But anyways, Bitboy got hacked. Speaking of crazy things that happened, in the last few weeks, Bitboy got his account hacked, and then I guess they posted some meme coin that they completely rugged on his community, which is like, well, and my first thought was like, well, they get rugged whether he got his Twitter hacked or not. Like, everything that motherfucker posts is they're getting rugged on. So I'm like, what's the difference? what's the difference there? Don't matter if his account's hacked or not. Like, I mean, have you seen what Ben Coin's doing recently? I mean,
And that's another Ben.eth coin, which is funny that he sold the Bitboy.
He's got Ben, he's got loyal is in
PSYOP.
the depths of hell too. I mean, fuck, dude. Again, you know, I would be like lying and say I got hacked at that point. You know, shit.
That is actually a theory I think a lot of people have on Twitter. Is that
he was in on it?
A orchestrated hack. Again, I don't think it was. The risk on that would be so.
Bro, he would
crazy,
get
but like
obviously if he got caught doing that. Like he would get.
Oh yeah, and obviously the tinfoil.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? Like the tinfoil has come out. Everyone's like, and it's funny. Like I see this all the time. Like people see one thing on Twitter and they like extrapolate it to other things, and then the tinfoil hat come out, and the conspiracy theory tweets are so good. Which actually, it's a good one that came up this week was Mathcoin. Someone posted a thread about how they hired all these influencers to shill it. My name was on it as well as a shill. I didn't even shill that coin, and like 99% of the people that they listed didn't post anything about math at all. And then it came out that the guy that posted the thread was in the DMs trying to get paid to promote the math coin himself, and he was slurping in the DMs to try and get like a promo job. And so when that counter thread got posted, it was like, "Isn't this you?" I have never.
Dude, that's so huge. I would have
real quick. Getting back to that topic, I just want to finish that Bitboy story, just because you guys brought it up. All right, so whether he was a fake, like you said, Drew, there was actually a conspiracy theory or a theory in itself that it was a coordinated hack. Right now, listen, fam. I don't know about you, but I've built up a 29K plus following since 2019. That ain't easy to do. Trust me. Let me tell you how hard it's to do, because in 2019 and almost all of 2020, not until the end of 2020, ironically, right when the bull run started, did I start picking up pace, but I had under 500 followers for that entire time. So basically the first 2 years, and I didn't have to buy any. I had to stop getting out of replies and work post charts, setups, fucking like literally. I'm serious. Anyways, point being, I got like 5 factor authentication on my fucking Twitter account. There ain't nobody in this world. Okay. Now look, I get it. Now the point is he blamed the Verizon store. He said the Verizon store. SIM swap. Let me tell you something right now. I haven't been into a phone store since 2012. You want to know why? I go online like a professional. I go to Best Buy, which links me right to the AT&T fucking store to buy my phone, and my phone shows up 3 days later at the fucking doorstep, already locked and registered. Why the fuck would Bitboy in any time, any world with billions and billions of followers have to spend?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get it. Yeah,
the guy should have somebody buying the phone for him. SIM card swap? What kind of garbage shit is that? I ain't believing that for 1 second. Let me just tell you, I go to the fucking, if I had to go to a cell phone store, they ain't taking it behind the scenes like fucking, oh my God, what are you doing? Dude, first off, I got a lot of personal shit on my own cell phone. I don't know about you, dude. I got a lot of personal shit on my cell phone. I'm not gonna get into the details of the personal stuff on my cell phone, but I got a lot of personal stuff on my cell phone. And with that being said, no one's taking it behind the scenes.
Savage doesn't want anyone to see his personal OnlyFans.
Period. That's fair.
He doesn't deny it. He doesn't deny it.
Look, when you go to a restaurant, okay, and they don't come over with the little card thing, a machine to put your card in it. All right. I'll tell you what. When they write down your fucking credit card number and they fucking run that shit all through online purchases, don't be like you didn't hear this shit right here, right now. All right. Facts.
I mean, they have the Canada. They don't even do that. They refuse to take your card down.
Dude, in Europe,
if you try and hand them your card, they're like, what are you doing?
Europe,
Put
it's
your own
done
fucking card
everywhere.
machine.
Europe, it's done everywhere. They bring that card machine right next to you because I'll tell you what, if they don't bring that card next to you, I ain't eating there. And if I do eat there, I ain't paying.
Old
But
Dine Dash Savage over here.
anyways, blaming the Verizon store, motherfucker got his shit hacked. Whether it was a SIM card hack or not, again, I do not lie to you. This is not some made up shit. I have never been in a phone store in the last decade. I literally order it online, usually go right into Best Buy or like a Radio Shack, which doesn't exist anymore, but Best Buy still does. All right. And pick that shit up right there. Boom. It's ready. Like processed same day.
I
Like,
still
I'm
go
not
into
going to a
yeah,
Verizon store and talking to the chain manager.
I'm not big
Fuck
enough
that
yet.
shit.
I find I get bigger deals going into the better deals going into the phone store than not. But also, I set up my own SIM at home. I just buy the phone
Yeah.
in the store. I don't give
Yeah,
them the
yeah.
phone. So I see your point, Savage. So
I mean, like a guy like him with 1 million followers, he's rolling in dough.
And
He's talked about how much money he gets. Like he gets between 50. I know this from personal. My wife happens to work in the industry, but according to her, he's probably getting between 15 and 30K for any type of show.
Oh, his
probably.
minimum.
What's it called? Thing
Chart.
that he's like, no, it's like
Website.
a pitch, almost like a pitch deck, that he sends companies when they ask for show. That got leaked. Zach XPD actually leaked it, and he makes a lot more, man. He makes like 50 to 100K on like a full post plus video plus like React on Twitter. Twitter posts are like $6,000. This is off the top of my head, so I'm probably wrong off of like some of the numbers, but they're ballpark like, his top line package, which was like a 20-minute YouTube video, a shill to all his like subscribers, plus Twitter and like, Twitter spaces and stuff like that, talk about it, was like $100,000 or $120,000. So he is making money on the back end, which, happens, but to segue a little bit from this conversation into other stuff, like you'll notice on my Twitter account, like I take paid promotion. But since I live in the wonderful, Canada, and anyone in the States also under this rule, I can't promote it without telling people it's a promotion, that I'm getting paid for it. So pretty much any single time that you see me posting something that looks like a shill, well, it is a shill, and it has an ad on it, a hashtag ad on it. I've been paid for that post. So I don't see anyone else really doing that in this industry, but like it's huge in Instagram and Facebook. And like TikTok even.
I see a lot of people phrase it now where when they post this, they have
that works
this
too.
company,
yeah.
and they don't do the hashtag ad because I think the Twitter algo now fucks you if you put hashtags in, which is weird. Yeah, it's a new thing where like you actually get less reach now using hashtags. It lowers your engagement and your visibility on the post because
they're paying me anyways. So that's good. I'll keep using hashtags then.
But yeah, I see your point. People need to be more careful about that.
You can get sued, and it's not a small amount of money, man. It's like in Canada, it's like $250,000. It's a big charge, and a lot of these people are taking paid promos for like $300 for a tweet, and then they don't disclose it, and if they ever get sued or caught or charged, like it's a huge fine. They take that shit very seriously. Now it might not be for another 2-3 years that anyone sees these kinds of issues, but like blockchain lasts forever. You can see it anywhere online, and so does Twitter for the most part. Most of these people aren't deleting their tweets, and there's track record, and there's you can go back and look. So I'm every single time that I get a paid promo, I'm always making sure that I let people know that it's a paid promo, because that's like the number one thing that everyone should be doing when they take promotional stuff. But like I don't see it anywhere else in this space, so it's pretty crazy.
I agree.
Wow.
Well, I guess the other topic we have, which we kind of should have brought up when we were talking about Ben.eth and Poly, because I know Poly.ox has some other. He did the whole yougetnothing.eth, where he promised people would get nothing if they sent him ETH. And the thing is, like, he kind of like he kept saying you get nothing, but like he hinted like you get nothing.
Yeah.
Like there was definitely like a hint that there was going to be a coin attached. I mean, I sent him 0.05.
Nothing.
I sent him 0.05 ETH because I just wanted to, if in case there was, I fully expected
Yeah.
never to see it again.
Yeah.
I know other I know other people that sent
Yeah, I
him
know
3
two
ETH.
people that sent him 3 ETH.
And
Yeah.
I know 2
So
people that sent 3 ETH as well, and like so. But I think he's just as much at risk of catching flack, man. Like, because he definitely, some of his posts, like, he had a You Get Nothing website that he like was teasing and stuff. Like he hinted there was more to it than just you were sending him ETH.
All
So
right. I
we'll
got
see.
a great idea.
What's that?
I'm just like developing like, you get savage.
just
You
send them
get
like
savage,
pieces
and
of
it's gonna be a
your
picture of me.
hair.
No, it's gonna
Just
be a picture of
oh
me.
my god,
It's
no.
gonna be a
Just
picture of me.
send them pieces of you. Just cut off
Yeah,
fingers.
but like, it's gonna be a 10,000 different set picture,
No, just do the
all
same one.
AI
Do like,
generated of
just do an
me.
1155 token, so they're all exactly the same.
That's
Send them that instead.
You know what? Fucking Savage Bucks. That's right, Savage Bucks. I got it right now, dude. I'm putting my face
That's
on
a
different
second
types of money,
episode
and
in a row.
I'm gonna airdrop. I'm gonna airdrop people Savage Bucks, dude.
Well, now
That's
he doesn't
what
have to
I'm
worry
gonna do.
about Zach
It's gonna
XBT
be
writing a
like
thread on him because he's getting sued. So.
This might be out of a lot of people's time, but the original Batman, it's gonna be like fucking the Joker going down and throwing out the fucking money, dude. Jack Nicholas.
I
Right
for
there,
one
just
will not be
fucking throwing
giving
out the money.
Savage money for Savage Bucks, that's for sure. So
Dude, you're
No.
gonna want the Savage Bucks, dude.
I want
Dude,
nothing to do with Savage Bucks.
Savage Bucks could be
oh
the
my
next meme
god.
coin, guys. It's just we're working on the utility right now.
Gonna be
But
pictures
Savage
of
Bucks, just
Savage
watch out
half
for it.
naked.
I'm gonna have an early
No,
whitelist
my
drop
God.
for that
Stop
for people,
it.
and yeah, the
People are gonna
Savage
think
Bucks
you're serious.
gets
Just
dropped
stop it.
on just
all right.
We have another question. Actually, is
I'm
about
not.
Tether. Someone in chat just brought Tether. We're going to
Oh,
talk about
yes.
Tether next anyway. The Tether Depeg. I
Yeah,
actually
is
have
that
some
coming?
Tether.
That's coming,
I have
right?
some Tether right now.
Why?
Maybe because I'm in stables.
Are you not a crypto supporter?
What? You're a Circle supporter?
Oh, I mean, I gotta.
No, I'm balls deep.
Oh my
I'm
god.
telling you,
You're gonna buy.
so fucking, are you
yo.
kidding me, dude?
What do you sell your Bitcoin for? What do you sell your
Balls deep,
Bitcoin
baby.
for? It's Tether. Yeah,
it's
that's
Tether.
what I thought. Sorry.
All right. It's not that deep.
I'm split between a few stable coins,
Yeah.
but you know.
So what they load, so as I understand it, Drew, and you can explain a little more, they load it onto decentral exchanges and fucking, what does it do? Like cause like a liquidity imbalance?
Yeah.
You can explain this better than me. He was the one telling me. I don't know shit about shit.
Okay, so again, just a
basically
little brief breakdown. The main cause of the FUD, from what I could see, was what's called a three pool. So it's the three main stable coins. It's DAI, DAI, USDC, Circles, Tether, and Tether, USDT. So basically, it should be, in theory, it was a $500 million liquidity pool. So not that much when you look at actual, like, Tether's actual balance sheet. But it should be at a 33 to 33.3333 percentage, like even for all three parts to constitute the entire. It was a lending pool, I believe. So essentially, people who wanted, certain stables could lend against each other, and it would kind of automatically siphon, who wants more DAI versus USDT versus USDC, and it would kind of just naturally, go to what would be considered an equilibrium at the 1/3 of 100% for each of the stables, and it got up to as high as last I checked, it was like 76% USDT, which means in theory a bunch of people were swapping out of USDT and into other stables, which was pulling the supply of the other two stables, the DAI coin and USDC, out of the pool, while putting a lot of USDT into the pool. So it was skewing it to one side, which, in theory, the grand scheme of things, $500 million against Tether's backload, not that much. Like, Tether has billions, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's a lot. tens or hundreds of billions. I'm pretty sure. I haven't checked in a really long time, but
Ponzito just said Tether just printed another
yeah, so
1.25
there you go.
mil.
Like it's a lot of money that they have backstopped. So $500 million in a liquidity pool for a lending protocol wasn't too much, but it was basically just showing that the sentiment was shifting against USDT and towards more of these more stable coins at the time. I think now that we're talking now, we've resumed Peg. Tether, the Paul, I think his name's Paul Arduino or something like that. The Tether CEO has come onto Twitter and talked about the FUD and how that they're always ready to backstop and like repeg the stable if there's any huge influx and a bank run on USDT.
I'll
Fuck
repeg
off.
his
I knew that
stable.
was coming. No, it's all good.
Sorry.
But they basically just said like you don't have to worry. We have more than enough money than needed. Tether's been dragged through the mud for years and years and years. Like I said, I've been in here a long ass time, and ever since Tether was created, it's been the number one FUDed stablecoin I think ever. They always catch FUD and they always walk themselves through it with no issues, no causation of concern, like absolutely nothing. It might lose peg very shortly, but it always typically comes back to peg, comes back to equilibrium. There's short-term bank runs that will obviously affect how the peg looks across the board, but it's resolved within I literally like 72 hours. I don't think I've seen.
I don't think I've
Yeah,
ever seen it
and that's
longer
what I
than
mean. But
24.
like the longest and worst one was I think like 72 hours, and it wasn't even that bad. It was just one of those situations where it would come back to peg and then fucking depeg again, and then stay depegged, and then come back to peg and then depeg again. And that was in I think pre 2020. Might get my timings off here, but it's been a while. So to have this kind of FUD come through and last 2-3 days had people concerned, but as of right now, there doesn't seem to be any cause for concern anymore. It was kind of just what people thought it was, which was FUD. Also, Circle, I'm pretty sure, has a lending program on USDC where they're offering 4.5% returns if you stake their USDC. So there are huge kind of thought processes of people trying to swap into USDC from Tether so that they can make the 4.5% returns from staking. I don't know if that's accurate, but that would honestly make sense because those lending protocols and those staking as a service protocols, at least for very large whales in this space, are very common to be used. So if that was a lot of people who were moving their Tether over to USDC so they could earn the 4.5% APY, I could see that 500 million pool kind of getting wiped to the one side. But again, I haven't checked since yesterday evening, I don't think, but last I was seeing it, it was coming back down towards an equilibrium in that pool specifically. The 3 pool or whatever it's called, I believe. I forget who hosts that service. On the tip of my tongue, but I forget what the company. So one of our viewers probably knows, but it's on the tip of my tongue. I forget which crypto company hosts that pool, that lending service, but doesn't really matter. Essentially, it was just an imbalance. A lot of people were swapping out of USDT and into other stables, namely DAI and USDC, and it wasn't really that big of a pool in the grand scheme of things. So a lot of FUD for relatively no reason. Yeah,
FUD.
there was.
It's funny. Tether's actually the first crypto I ever really. That's how I started getting into crypto. Was buying Tether on Binance peer to peer. Because I couldn't buy, for some reason, my buys on any other crypto wouldn't work, and the peer-to-peer Ethereum buys on Binance were fucked. The rates were so bad. You'd be buying 10% out under ETH value, but if you bought Tether, it was always within a penny of where it was. So you could just buy Tether, put it on Binance, and swap it to ETH and get the better exchange rate. And so I figured that out, and that's how I was doing crypto forever. And that was super sketchy because you're just sending e-transfers to people in Canada money and hoping your fucking Tether shows
on
up.
that. We live in the same city, so you're aware of this, but there's a lot of not pawn shops, but shops that sell cash for Bitcoin, cash for ETH. I used to use those almost exclusively for selling my mining stuff because I was worried about tax. And then I realized that I get taxed way harder on those to cash, and it's a huge it's not seen, I had my accountant go through everything and make sure it was all done legally, but like he was like, no, you can't be doing this, man. Like this is a lot of money to be pulling out to cash. Like, the CRA is not going to like this, like, all of these kind of shit. So it was, a learning curve for me. But yeah, until I found out about stables, and for most of 2019 to 2020, I was in a lot of stables waiting to buy, like relative bottoms. That's honestly how I was able to catch like sub $100 ETH. And cheap Bitcoin as well, was just waiting in stables. So they definitely have a really good use case. I hope they don't get fucked over. I hope they're not fraudulent. Because genuinely, and I say this, like, I'm a big bear, you guys that know me from Twitter. But like, I was calling 1640 since we hit 2100 on ETH. Like at 2100, I said we need to hit 1640 and then we'll go bullish from there. Obviously, I'm going to be bullish now because we hit 1640, and I went long. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm quite bearish. And it's just because of a lot of uncertainty, right? This is the FUD episode. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt about the regulatory measures that are going to be happening on crypto as a whole. And Tether is one of my biggest concerns. Like if Tether breaks or depegs or has like a Luna collapse / blow up, we're fucked. Like we're going to see the lowest crypto prices you've probably ever seen in this entire space. Like everything is linked to either Tether or USDC. And if one of them depegs or collapses, like there is going to be a huge issue in this entire space. So it's kind of like, during the Cold War, this is the best example. There's a lot of traders on the New York Stock Exchange floor during the Cold War or the Bay of Pigs or any of the stuff where there was nuclear, talks about them, US getting nuked. A lot of these traders looked at each other and goes, okay, price is going to the ground. We buy here because in 2 years, we're either going to be making money and it's going to be fine, or we're going to get nuked and we're going to die and it's not going to matter. So we just buy now. Those are two options. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like with the Tether FUD. Like I have the fullest belief that it's just FUD. It's no issues, because if there really truly is an issue and Tether is fraudulent and Tether has, all these different problems and you can't pull your money out and it becomes this massive fucking issue, like all of crypto as a whole collapses with it. Like it's not an option for Tether to be fraudulent or to be a bad actor in this space. Like if it is, we're all fucked. Like you're buying $10 Bitcoin. Like I'm not even joking, because of how much money compared to stables, like all your pairs, your perpetual pairs, most of your contractual stuff when you look into options on Bitcoin and ETH are done on a stablecoin basis. So it will pull down a huge portion of the market with it. So it's kind of not an option for me. Like I'm staring at, getting nuked. Like if I lose my Tether, every other coin's going fucking really close to zero as well. So, yeah, I hope they're fine.
Facts. That's a great way to end our FUD episode, because we have polished off all of our topics. Unless you guys have anything last minute you
We
want to
have
get in here.
the giveaway.
Nope.
We're giving away.
We do have a giveaway. Let's do
Right.
we are doing anyone here that has not entered our Twitter giveaway, please go to the Twitter if you're watching, Garden of Degens on Twitter.
They gotta be in the chat.
No, well, because there's some Europeans. It's 5 a.m.
Oh, we're gonna draw
for Europe, so
yeah, ain't fair. So you just use that free app online, right?
yeah, I will. There's enough retweets. Last time we had to do a random number generator. But
perfect. Yeah, so go like that.
There's
awesome,
there's a free generator online.
No, I know, but it needs minimum 10 retweets. So this one will run through that. But the last one only had like 7 retweets, so I had to pick.
Oh, got it.
And while I have your attention, post that second link is our YouTube channel. If you guys could go give us a follow on and a subscription on YouTube, that would be much appreciated. The second episode's out there. Audio sounds great. We're gonna get some timestamps on there soon. We're still figuring out YouTube. We're not the most technologically.
We're fucking Degens, chat. We're fucking Degens, okay? So, yeah.
We're figuring this out as we go. We actually have plans maybe next week. We're going to try and reshoot the Genesis episode because the audio is so bad. We're going to reintroduce ourselves to people that have joined us since, because the Genesis episode where we do all our intros is basically unwatchable on YouTube. We've since got new software for streaming. It works much better now.
Yeah, the first episode, I just want to segue a little bit. The first episode, I tried to watch it the other day, and it's, like I said, borderline unwatchable. So we'll probably end up just trying to reshoot that sometime next week to redo the Genesis episode, like Drew said. So be on the lookout for that. But with that being said, if you guys have commented your 3 homies under the post, if you guys have retweeted and liked this post, we'll be doing that giveaway here. Does someone? Yeah. Do you? Well,
right now. Let's do it.
All right. Let's go. Let me load in this tree. Twitter picker, right? That's the one. Twitter picker.
Twitter picker, yeah.
Free giveaway picker. Let's look. That's the load tweet. Do you want to do 1 or 2 giveaways? Just 1? 1, okay.
Let's do 1. Let's do 1 bigger
$50?
one. $50.
All right, so must follow. Let me get these. Bear with us here. I didn't have this loaded. All right. 21 entries loaded. We'll continue. All right, we're going to begin draw. Let's go. 21 entries. Oh, this is my homie. That's dope. All right, I'm going to reply with winners straight from here. And congratulations, it's Stibbits. He's one of the homies that's in Europe. He's gonna wake up to a nice $50 surprise. Perfect. Congratulations to Stibbits. I just tweeted out with the Twitter picker authentication link or whatever it's called. Show that that's not a skewed process. And then I will just say DM us. Awesome. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps up our whole episode. Do you want to take like 2-3 minutes and shoot the shit with chat for a little bit? See what chat has to say. They got any questions, comments?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Sorry about the dogs barking, but they'll just have to hear them in the background. It's getting close to dinner time, and they're telling me. Anyone who says dogs can't tell time are full of shit, because they seem to know exactly when dinner is supposed to be. So, yeah, chat, what's up? Anybody have any questions for us? Any topics you want us to quickly cover before we shut her down?
Savage has got his AFK cam on. I love that. He just took a picture of himself. Yeah,
I took a picture of himself,
and then he when he turns it off, it goes to that. That's ingenious. That's great. I'm just saying your AFK cam is amazing.
No, I'm here.
Well, your camera's just frozen then. It's just been showing a still image of you for the past like 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's
got
that's
it
what
right,
I thought,
dude.
Yeah,
he's
on his
upstairs
headset,
making a snack right now.
I'm eating chocolate chip cookies with milk. Listen, I got like 6 different pictures of me too, like angles, so I can always mix it up.
All right, so chat says dogs know a shit ton. Yeah, they do. Can we do an next episode on Gamify?
Like Web3 gaming?
What's Gamify?
Is that what you're talking about?
Talking here? Yeah.
Can Savage and Q do a trading comp over the next month against each other?
Oh, the Garden of Degens.
Wow, you know that's a good idea. We should open that up to the fucking users as well. We should try and
yeah,
yeah,
do like $100 challenge
and
account
see
or something.
who can. Yeah.
No, I got a better one.
Yeah, what is it?
One. All right, we got $100. and it's win or liquidation in an hour. So all you got is like 1 hour, right?
Live on stream.
Yes, live on stream.
That's
We'll do
literally,
it 90 minutes. I guess
bro.
I'll do an hour in the stream.
I'm going to Mexi.
Win or liquidation.
I'm
Oh,
throwing,
yo, that's what I
I'm
was
throwing a
saying.
Rollbit, and I'm fucking
Dude, I
playing
said
the
Mexi in my
helicopter
head.
game.
Yeah.
And at 1,000 times leverage.
No,
I
was
know.
thinking trading.
That is trading. You get
That is
1,000x
trading.
leverage.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I was
bro,
saying Mexi
1,000x
because they do
leverage on
200 or 250 x leverage, but then I was thinking as soon as Drew started talking, I'm like, Rollbit has 1,000x. We need to go there. Yeah, that'd be fun. We can figure it out. I'm running a challenge account right now, actually. You know, I don't really stream much anymore, but I used to stream it. I started with $250. It's almost 10 grand right now, so I love challenge accounts.
No, that's what I'm saying. We could do one like a 1 hour. People want to see like a little competition. We can do like a little 1 hour competition on here. In a few episodes from now or something.
I'm 100%
And we'll
down
both
to
start
do
with
that for
$100,
next week.
and
Because we can redo the intros about ourselves. That's the most important part of the Genesis episode. Is just going over our intros again, kind of where we came from in the space, because I feel like that's really important
my
for some of our
OnlyFans
listeners.
background. A lot of people don't know
and
that.
Then we could do the challenge on stream while we just shoot the shit, and basically gamble $100 on Rollbit is what I'll be doing.
Yeah, we'll have to.
No, I'm gonna be 2xing, bro. I like the
different strategies, safe and steady versus complete. I'm gonna
Dude, what do you mean safe and like, bro? If I'm doing 1 hour with $100, I'm eating that.
No, I'm gonna. I have like a really good idea.
The helicopter game is what I'll be playing.
It's like 1 hour. Plinko.
That Poochie says give away the winner's wallet.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's not a bad
what if I
idea,
hit a fucking
actually.
20 grand lick?
Yeah, if I hit a 20 grand lick, I'm keeping that. That's my fucking. That's all the money I had to earn for the next few months since Web3 is my full-time job. Then I can retire for something, but I'll definitely give some away as a prize. The $100.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun. Challenge account. We're all partnered with a bunch of exchanges actually, so we could talk to some exchanges and see if they'd host like a Garden of Degens, trading account. Maybe we do something fun during the hour and a half that we're live a week and see what we can do.
And we could actually set up like a longer term, like get a referral code, and then do like a longer term trading account challenge versus each other.
Yeah, we'll look into that chat. I'm actually stoked. I don't just want to trade against Savage. There's a lot of really good traders actually in the chat. I know in the comments. So we'll try and get you guys involved as well. See who can go to zero or hero the fastest. Zero
That's
or hero.
That's a great name for the episode.
Lambos or food stamps.
Dude on Galaxy says we chose an awesome name. We really appreciate that. We actually kicked around a lot of names for this. Surprisingly, we had some pretty funny ones that we thought no one had picked, but other people had picked them. So when we settled on Garden Degens, it kind of seemed like it just fit. And you did a great job with the little D logo. We've heard great things about that. So I know my partner Shannon, she likes
with
it.
The forbidden fruit right in the middle. Looks so juicy, but you shouldn't. Anyways, okay, it was much love with you guys. So I'll probably end up we'll probably wrap up shop here.
For me.
We're a little over an hour and 20 minutes. We try and go.
Got my 1 hour cam chat later.
Throw singles.
Check me out.
Throw singles.
Linktree.
Anyways.
Linktree.
Oh my
Hit that ding ding ding.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure having you guys. Honestly.
Mad love, man. Mad love.
Thanks for coming out. And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace and love. Make sure to follow the Twitter.
Go Kanye
Make sure to put notifications on. I won't ask that from any other Twitter. I tweet a lot on my personal. I would never want someone putting notifications on my personal. A lot of it's bullshit.
You don't want to follow Q unless you want to be
it's all bullshit.
I wake up in the morning, I check what Q posted.
It's depressing. It's depressing. But hey, man, no one wants to hear we're going to 1640 when we're at 2140. But I'm telling you, look what happened. Look what happened.
I messaged when I was still holding my Pepe bag, and I wake up and I just see a million tweets of Q shitting on Pepe holders, and I messaged him and I was like, bruh. I'm still at Pepe, although he's like, oh,
I'm
God,
funny.
sorry, man. He's like, I've
Yeah.
been fucking roasting you the last.
But anyways,
I'm just sitting there
so
getting sadder and
don't put
sadder.
notifications on from my personal account. That's the story here. But on our communal Garden of Degens account, we're only really going to be posting there maybe 5 times a week. So you'll probably want your notifications on. We're going to talk about, where we're going to be hosting, when we pop up our Spotify and our YouTube videos, what is the flavor of the week, what our episode's going to be about. And if we do any giveaways or, any, we're going to be in talks here with some hardware wallets that are hopefully going to come on and talk to us. And we'll probably be giving away some hardware wallets straight from the company. And like a bunch of cool stuff. So just make sure to follow that Twitter account, spread it to homies that are also in this space. There's going to be lots and lots of free stuff that are going to be given away, lots of cool guests that we have planned. So we'll be launching all of that on the Twitter. So make sure notifications on.
We have some huge names that have agreed to come on the podcast. We're just kind of just waiting around till episode 5 or 6 before.
Savage, you want any? Yeah, you want any?
Savage, you raise your hand.
Closing comments.
Yes. I just wanted to say goodnight.
Yeah, it's bedtime.
Oh, is it
All
bedtime
right,
now?
peace and love, you
Okay,
guys.
it's bedtime now.
Until
Good
next
night,
week.
Savage.
All right.
Okay.
Peace out, guys.
Wait, one more thing.
Go. Oh my God. All
right.
right. Good night. Peace and love, you guys.
Good night, guys. Thanks for
Have
coming.
a good one.